wheel in, axle's not bad, but now we're starting to get to the tricky part. So the speedo drive, it's a lot fatter than what is normally the spacer in a Ducati. So he's too thick, so that'll be an issue. Once I can reduce the width of that, then the wheel, which doesn't quite sit central in the fork legs, you can see it's a lot bigger gap through here than here. So this is my problem. I need that to be reduced in width. Then it will allow the wheel to slide across to the left side of the bike, and it'll suck up a bit more of this axle because that's fully bottomed now on the wheel bearing. Right, so onto the fiddly bits, and then will be the brake issues of how to get those guys on there, because these discs look a lot smaller diameter than what's on a Ducati one. So I might even measure that before I go to work and see what we're dealing with. Back to the shop, steal some more parts off my bike. There's a achievable we built, pretty cool. My dad's old road racing helmet from 1977. Anyway, enough of that, let's get out and rob some more bits off the bike. So apparently these calipers should fit. These are shower forks and mine are the Olin's ones, but the internet reckons that all Brembo calipers, whether they're European or off a Japanese bike, are all the same bolt spacing. So we're about to see that. So I'll unbolt my calipers and take them home, bolt them up on the Kwaka, see how close the discs fit. Will work a lot better than the ones that I was running. Let's go bolt them up, see what happens. Alright, so I've been playing around with the rims and the discs and the spacing and whatnot. So what I've found out is the 1198 and 1098s, they all run a 330mm disc. The old Kwaka, he runs a 320mm diameter disc. So that's not the end of the world, because on an 848 they actually run a 320mm diameter disc. So basically with the smaller diameter disc, you just remove these spacers, which lets the caliper sit down lower. So instead of it having the little spacers, they actually go down that bit further. So that'll solve that problem. Also, I've found that I can't actually use the original speedo drive because it takes up too much room, it's too big and bulky, and it's just impossible for me to fit that in there. So I've removed that. I grabbed the Ducati wheel spacer. He lives there. I'll just roll it over. I'll grab the other guy as well. Boom. So they're both the stock wheel spacers out of a Ducati Superbike, Street Fighter. And now I'm going to fit it back into the bike and show you how close it is. It's basically perfect. It seems to centralize the wheel right in the middle of both the fork legs, and it all just works. So I'll throw it in and I'll show you what it looks like. I've set the verniers up and locked them so I can show you from the mounting face of the mudguard, we'll say, to the top of one of these rivets, 42.3mm. So I'll pass that through there, and you can see that's touching hard on the fork leg and also on the rivet, like that. So I'll chuck it over this side. Here's my rivet. Exactly the same, 42.3mm. That's basically crazy how the Ducati spacers just put that in exactly the right spot. Obviously I'm going to get my own spacers made to so I only need one spacer, but to have them dropped straight in. I was only mocking it up and it's basically perfect. It's unreal. So now what we'll do is get one of these calipers and drop that on and have a look. So on that we'll go. And the only slight issue I can see is that the disc is has slightly too much dish in it, but by nothing. It's not worth me changing the discs to fix this problem. There's still clearance. I can still spin the wheel freely when it's all bolted up. So it's been quite good. And then onto the speedo. How are we going to do that? So I'll throw calipers on, give you a look, and then I'll tell you my plan of attack with the speedo saga. So there it sits, all done. It's the rust on the discs you can hear, but in the end, to throw these Street Fighter forks or 1098S forks in, all I really had to do was machine the clip on and the top clamp out by 1mm. It's all bolted straight in. So as for the speedo saga, I haven't got room for the speedo drive. It's just not going to happen. I've had a look on the internet, and what I'm going to do is use a GPS speedo, so I don't need to run any extra wires. I'm going to mount it in the original cluster and run that GPS style speedo that a boat would use, or you know, just it's a new way of doing it. So that's the simplest way for me. So I'll pull my gauges apart and see what I can fit in there and see what happens. But I'm pretty happy with that. That's awesome.